All right, everybody. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining me. So for this week's sequence, I will be looking at pigeon pose, opening up the hips, and perhaps um, so working the hips in this external rotation way, opening up the hips for pigeon pose. It's been a little while since we've thrown pigeon in there, but otherwise just a little bit of this and a little bit of that as far as the sequence goes. So hopefully it's a nice fun one, a good distribution of some stretching, but also getting back to some strength. I know last week we did a little bit of the final guided meditation. So it was a little bit of an off week from our strength. We're right back to our strength work. So we were going to start in Shavasana pose, and no half moon, I don't believe, and no revolved triangle, so no real need for a block, but if you want to grab one, please feel free. Otherwise, we will start in Shavasana pose for our sequence this morning. All right? So you can lay on your back and get really comfortable. You can have the feet to flop out to the sides. The arms can be by your sides as well. All right, let's begin to settle into our yoga practice. We're going to start off by trying to clear the mind. So if you like the eyes open, you can. Otherwise, we'll close the eyes. And we'll see if we can start off our practice this morning with a nice big inhale in through the nose. The belly will rise on the inhale, and the belly will softly fall on the exhale. So we want to try to promote a diaphragmatic style of breathing so the belly is again rising. And then softly falling on the exhales. And we're also breathing into the sides of the belly, so really it's expanding in all directions. See if you can spend a few moments here elongating your breath. So longer, deeper inhales and exhales. See if you can spend some time perhaps clearing the mind of all the random thoughts that will definitely be jumping in and out of the mind in just a few moments. We want to see if we can clear the mind as best we can. Just trying to keep the breath steady in and out through the nose for the entire portion of our class. See if you can spend a few more moments here deepening and furthering that connection with your breath. Will start to move in just a moment. Take one more inhale and one more exhale. All right. After your final big exhale, you can blink the eyes open. We'll start with a round of windshield wipers. We'll bring the feet flat to the floor. The knees point up. Allow the knees to rock carefully to the left and to the right. Please listen to the lower back as you're performing these. And ease into your practice, especially if it's first thing in the morning. All right, we'll take one more left and one more right. This time, when you allow the knees to drop all the way to the right, let the knees stay there. And then place your left foot carefully on top of your right thigh, just above the knee. And then allow the weight of your left foot to gently pull the right knee down towards the mat, giving this right hip here an internal stretch, and just breathe, all right? We'll take 2 or 3 breaths here. And again, it's the weight of the left foot gently pulling the right knee down to the mat. I'll take 1 or 2 more breaths here. And then when you're ready to release, let's carefully take that foot off. We can come back to center, and we'll just try 4 total. We'll just do 2 to the left, 2 to the right. And then again, we're dropping the knees to the right this time. The right foot is being placed on the knee to gently pull the left knee down. Again, an internal stretch before we start a lot of this external rotation of the hip. So be rotating the hips in all different directions today. See if you can spend about 3 or 4 breaths here. Again, the weight of the right foot is gently pulling the left knee down towards the floor. And just try to breathe, relax, and let go. Make sure it feels all right on the knee as well. Take 2 more breaths. When you feel like you're ready to release and come out, carefully take that right foot off. Again, We'll bring the feet flat to the floor. We will try another round of windshield wipers in between. All right. So that was our internal hip stretch. We're now going to look at the external rotation. So indeed, we'll set up this figure 4 stretch, which is always like one of the best preps, in my opinion, for pigeon pose. So we'll see if we can reach the right hand through the center of the hole that we made with the legs. The left hand reaches up. Going to try to relax onto the back of the head and the shoulders. Pull the left knee in while using the right forearm to press the inner right thigh away for this figure 4 stretch. If you'd like to take some circles, that was some crack in my ankle. If you'd like to take some circles with the left ankle, feel free, forward and backwards. But then we can gently, again, just try to pull it in and breathe, maybe adding little tiny amounts of movement into this as well. Now, especially if you're coming here to class, I always like to give you the option to stay in these postures or take them one step further. So you can stay in this figure 4 stretch, or you can place the left foot down close to the left glute. And I think you remember this one. We've been here before. So it's this right inner thigh you have to be mindful of. See if you can bridge the hips up by pressing the left heel down, and then allow this right knee to drop down and succumb to gravity. It's going to go to whatever height it can. Dropping it down while pressing the hips up. We'll hold for 3 seconds here. 2. On 1. Let's switch it out. Right foot comes down. Left foot top of the right thigh. Left hand goes through the center of the hole with the legs. We'll start off. Oh boy, that is very, very tight this morning. I'm going to just be honest with you. So this figure 4 stretch on the left side, again, if you want to bring it in and move around a little bit, or perhaps taking maybe some circles with this right ankle. And the other direction. But again, really pulling it in, maybe moving around. If this ever bothers the knee, please try flexing the foot to help protect the knee. We'll take maybe 2 more breaths. Again, you do have the option to stay in this position. The other option to take it further would be to carefully release. The right heel is going to touch down close to the right glute. Make sure that left ankle is right there on the right thigh, palms by your side. The option would be to bridge the hips up, and then from here, you can allow the left knee to sink down to the level that you feel comfortable with. We'll hold and press up for 3. 2. Press. Left knee drops down. On 1. Carefully come down. All right. One last round. We'll take 4 more windshield wipers. 2 left more. 2 right. All right. Next time you come back to center, you can grab the shins or the knees. Tuck. We're going to round up in a moment. Sometimes it feels nice to rock a few times. And then, indeed, we will rock ourselves all the way up to seated. We're going to extend the legs long, but we're going to have a slight separation. Not as wide as a straddle would be, but also not with the legs together. And, in fact, I think it might be a little bit helpful if I kind of face in this direction. So what we're going to try with the feet about, again, just maybe beyond hip width distance. You can bring your arms behind you. We're going to see if we can externally rotate both hips. It shows up in the feet, so think pinky toes to try to touch the floor, rotate, and then try to internally rotate the hips as much. Think big toes trying to touch down. And then alternate back and forth. Externally rotate, internally rotate. Try to get as much rotation out of your hips as you can. For some, you might find variabilities in what your right leg can do versus what your left leg can do. And then for some might find a lot of one rotation versus the other. So you might find a lot of external rotation, very minimal internal rotation. Just do the best you can. Get the hips moving around and take a mental note of what's going on. All right, we'll take a few more here. Again, as much movement out of the hip as you can. One last time. Excellent. Then from this position, you can plant the feet down, or heels down rather. Arms are behind you. From here, we could take a reverse plank. If you want to bend the knees, you can take a reverse bridge as well. All right, so when you're ready, we'll press the hips up to the ceiling. Heels stay. See if maybe you can press so much that the bottoms of the toes touch down. Press up through the ceiling. Press through your hips. Extend. 3, 2. Slowly come down on 1. All right, once again from this position. See if you can externally rotate your right foot as much as you can. And we're going to try to perform 10 leg lifts with an externally rotated right foot. So when you're ready, we'll lift it up for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right foot goes back to normal. Left foot externally rotates. Rotate, rotate. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Keep thinking rotate and lift. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Allow left foot to go back to center. Arms come behind you. Round 2. Reverse plank. Press up. See if you can get bottoms of toes to touch. Press the hips up. 3 seconds. Try to press out of your shoulders. Don't collapse in. Press away. 2 seconds. On 1. Hips lower back down. Take a quick look over here at your right foot. See if you can internally rotate the right leg as much as you can, with the right footing pointing in on the angle as best you can, keeping it internally rotated. Let's do it 10 times. Let's lift. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right foot goes back to normal. Maybe a little shake it out. Left foot internally rotates. See how much you can get it to internally rotate. Hold it there. And let's see what happens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and last one, 10. Excellent job. Again, shake it out. Last round of this reverse plank. Palms plant down. Heels are down rather. When you're ready, bridge up. We'll hold for 3. Again, press out of your shoulders. 2. And then once again, slowly come down on 1. All right, tabletop position. How do we get there? You could place any foot down flat to the floor. You could try this great, really cool move that we've been using to get to tabletop. If you don't want to do that, you don't have to, but maybe giving that one a shot. All right, we will bring the wrists into that same position we were in last week. I'm going to bring the base of the wrists about 1 inch or 2 apart with the fingers fanned out to the edges of the mat. Move your knees closer to your hands at this point in time. It's circles for this week around the hands and wrists. So we're going to move the chest now in circles around the hands. As you feel the weight shifting into those individual fingers, try to press them down so it's as if you're receiving the weight of the upper body as it moves around in circles, and then switch directions with the circles of the chest. We'll move in the other direction. Again, circles, circles, circles. Moving it all around. After 2 more, see if you can shake out the hands and wrists. Shake them out, make a fist and some circles. Literally shake them. Maybe apply some pressure onto the backs of the hands. A little of this, a little of that. Do your thing. All right. After those, we're going to come back to tabletop position. At any time, you can always drop down to the child's pose. It's fine. We're going to do a little bit of strength work here. So see if you can come to tabletop, then tuck the toes. We'll lift into a hovering crawl position. From this hovering crawl, see if you can bend the elbows and tap the head. Maybe the mat in front of the hands. Maybe it touches on a block, or maybe it doesn't touch at all. There's 1. We'll try 5, 2, 3, 4, last one, 5. You can drop down to the knees. We'll take a brief child's pose. Extend the arms out and breathe. You can sink the chest down to the floor. Nice inhale. And exhale, let it go. All right, we'll carefully release. We'll come right back to tabletop position. We're going to move the spine now. We'll take some cat-cows. Inhale, look up to the ceiling. Belly button presses down. We are trying to arch the back as much as we can. Then exhale, tuck and round the spine. Shoulder blades press up. Maybe chin touches chest. Inhale, look up. Belly button presses down. Exhale, tuck and round the spine. Again, shoulder blades pressing up. We'll take that one more time. Inhale, look up. Belly button presses down. Big arch, and then a big exhale, tuck and round the spine. Shoulder blades pressing up. Proceed at your own pace with more cat-cows. Rotating the spine around in circles is also another option. Ribs press left, then up. Then ribs press right, and then down for cow. So there's 4 spots, and we can hit all 4 of those spots with the spine, moving it around again here in these circles. You can move them in the other direction as well. All right, move the spine and the bones in the trunk as best as you can. Excuse me, we'll eventually meet back. A little eyelash here for a moment. Sorry about that. We'll eventually meet back in tabletop position, but again, continue to move the spine. You can, again, even just isolate the pelvis from, I think, 2 weeks ago. All right, get as much movement as you can, and then when you're ready, we'll come back again to neutral spine. So you have the option to take a child's pose right now. You have the option to take 5 more crawling push-ups like we just did a moment ago. Or you can follow along with us here. So once again, we'll tuck the toes. We'll come to a hovering crawl. Now from here, see if you can bend, tap the head down in front, press into the hovering crawl, straighten out your legs, down facing dog, bend the knees again, head taps the same spot, straighten out the arms, then bend the knees back to a hovering crawl, tap for that push-up, straighten out the legs, down dog, head taps in the same spot, and then one last time, hovering crawl, head taps, straighten out the legs, head taps the same spot, down dog. You can stay in down dog if you want to take a quick child's pose, feel free. Into the butt, you can extend the arms out, do your thing. Eventually, though, when you're ready, we will come back and lift up into our first down-facing dog of the morning. All right, so you can tuck the toes, pedal it out, move freely. As always, see if you can explore for a little bit. Again, pedal things out, check in how you feel, and then when you're ready, we'll begin to settle in and find some stillness. In our down dog, we want the feet pressing the heels down towards the floor. The gaze is inward, so try to hold no tension in your head or neck. Fingers are spread wide on the mat. Hands are rotated out. That starts from the shoulders. Breath is steady in and out through the nose. And again, the heels are pressing down towards the floor as the chest also presses down towards the toes. Let's inhale. Fill your lungs in down dog. Exhale, let it go. At the bottom of your breath, bend your knees, look up, walk or step to the top of the mat. Exhale, forward fold. All right, we'll put a slight bend in the knees. See if you can round up one vertebrae. When you get to standing, sun sal A, inhale, arms rise. Exhale, swan dive down. Hinge at your hips. Palms touch down. Knees are bent or straight. Walk or step back. High plank position. Elbows in close. Chaturanga down. Inhale for upward facing dog, baby cobra, or sphinx pose. Tuck the toes. Engage your core. Lift back, a downward facing dog. We'll take 3 to 5 breaths in and out through the nose in down dog. Fill the lungs on your next inhale. Empty your lungs after your exhale. All right, bend the knees, look up, step or walk, top of mat. Exhale, forward fold, slight bend in the knees. We're going to stop when we get to standing. We'll come to Tadasana, mountain pose. Utkatasana, chair. Sit it down nice and low. Chair pose, butt towards heels. Inhale, arms and chest rise. And then exhale, forward fold. Palms touch down, legs begin to straighten. Walk or step your feet back. High plank, chaturanga down. Inhale, first up dog. Exhale, lift back. Downward facing dog. All right, in our down dog, we're only here for a short moment. Listen closely. Right foot high in the air behind. Lean forward. Try to bring right knee to right elbow. Pause for a moment. Reach it high in the air behind. A little twist on our sun B. One more time. Knee to elbow. Lean and press. Reach the right foot back. 2. Final one. Knee to elbow. Pause. Right foot steps through. Back left heel pivots down. Warrior 1. Inhale, arms rise. When your lungs are full, exhale, press away. Palms touch down. Right foot steps or slides back. Second chaturanga, here's the option. Inhale, up dog, back bend of your choice. Tuck your toes, lift back. Down dog, left foot high in the air. Lean forward, knee to elbow. Tap, reach it back. There's a 1. Lean, tap, reach it back. 2. One last time. Lean forward. Whoop. Foot places down. Right heel pivots down. Warrior 1. Inhale, arms rise. Rotating that right hip forward. Chest rises up. Exhale. Press away. Last chaturanga. Chaturanga down. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, lift back. Downward facing dog. We'll take 3, 5 breaths here, in and out through the nose. Just breathe. Excuse me for a moment. I'm going to take this one off. It's starting to get up here. Sorry with the microphone. See if you can take one more inhale in your down-facing dog. See if you can take one more exhale. Let it go. At the bottom of your breath, bend your knees. Look up. Walk or step to the top of the mat. Exhale, forward fold. Chair pose. Utkatasana, sit it down. Butt towards heels. Inhale, arms and chest rise. Exhale, press away. Tadasana, mountain pose. One more A. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, swan dive down. Palms touch down, knees or bent or straight. Walk or step back, high plank. We're going to stop when we make our way back to downward facing dog. All right, lift back, down dog. We'll take 3 breaths here. Breathe, breathe, breathe. From down dog, right foot high in the air, step in place, right foot through to between the hands. Inhale, arms rise for crescent lunge. All right, hips sink down, left heel's pressing back to the wall behind us. We're trying to create a straight, strong back leg. Hips sink down, we can also press them forward. Everything else is lifting up to the ceiling. Bringing the gaze up to the ceiling as well will make the balance even more challenging. Stay here for another moment. And we're going to twist, but not in the direction of Warrior 2. It's the opposite. So it's called Strong Twisted Warrior. Rotate your upper body to the right. Right hand comes down behind, left fingertips in front. You're trying to use your core strength to pull you into this twist. We'll hold for 3. Maybe you can look back here down the right fingertips. 2. Now Warrior 2. So we windmill the arms. Left heel pivots down to come out. We made it. Warrior 2 pose. Try to have this right knee tracking straight. It's pointing in the same direction that the toes are of the right foot. Back left foot's on an angle. Slowly have the shoulders melt down and away from the ears. Again, arms are straight and strong. We're gazing down and beyond the right fingertips for one more breath. And then let's see if we can reverse our warrior. The option today is with a half wrap. So the left hand can wrap as the right arm reaches up and over. We'll hold for 3. And we're going to see if we can maintain this half bind. 2. Straighten out the legs on 1. So half step up perhaps with that back left foot. Maybe you have this wrap where the left fingertips are reaching towards this right hip. You can kind of look over the right shoulder. We're going to take triangle pose with the wrap. Right hand can reach down towards the shin, foot, floor, or block. But again, this half wrap might help to open up your torso towards the ceiling. We'll breathe for 3, 2. Just starting to remember, I think I did lie. We do have half moon pose. So if you do need a yoga block, go run, get your yoga block. You can put it at the top of the mat. And then on 1, maybe you're maintaining the bind perhaps. 4, half moon pose. So I'd lean forward. Right hand touches down, yoga block perhaps. Maybe coming for half moon. Maybe elevating up on the fingertips. We'll hold for 3 again. 2. Reverse your warrior. We still have that half wrap from when we left it. Perhaps. Reverse warrior. Breathe. Reach. Now we'll release that half wrap. Left palm touches down. Perform a kick through. Oop. Left foot kicks through. Left hand touches down behind. Warrior's bridge. Inhale, reach up. If you were here with us last week, feel free to throw in some of these big, nice, beautiful shoulder circles if you would like to take them. And carefully lower the hips down. Right foot flat, right knee points up. Try to fold over this left thigh. Inhale first, and then exhale. Forward fold over that left leg. And breathe, breathe, breathe. Your right knee's not caving in. If anything, it's pressing away as you melt over the left knee. Final breath. There is a twist here. Be mindful of the lower back as you fold. And then release. Left palm places down. We're going to kick this foot back the same way it came to us. So I'm going to kick the left foot back. Palms plant down. You can explore in lizard by moving your hips a little left and a little right. Maybe even straightening out the legs. But really try to keep the arch of this foot up. Again, maybe moving your hips to the right knee to the right. The hips maybe to the left, perhaps even straightening out the leg a little bit. And then after you do some movement here in that lizard, we'll then scoot the foot over, and we'll see if we can now set up pigeon. So in pigeon, make sure that the left foot is directly behind you. Often it can be off the mat. The right shin is approaching, keyword approaching, parallel to the top of the mat. And then see if you can maybe melt down over that right leg. Pigeon pose is going to be different for everybody. We're just going to be here for about 5 breaths. So again, see if you can melt over. I know a lot of the time too, sometimes I have to hold the foot down if it is really, really tight. But again, just try to melt over. And if you do have any variations of pigeon pose, please feel free to take them. If you want to just stay active in this front leg too, you can kind of come up a little bit and press the right knee and shin down. And again, adding micro movements to everything is welcomed. Let's just take 2 more breaths in this pigeon. All right, and we have to shake out this right leg a little bit. If you want to stay here longer, you absolutely can. If If you feel like it's time for you to start to make your way out, you can begin to kind of shake out that right leg. This is definitely your chance to get a chaturanga in if you would like, or a child's pose. You can always sit the butt back onto the heels as well, or wait for us in down dog to meet back up for the other side. All right, so do your thing. And again, I'm going to maybe shake that leg out a little bit after pigeon, but we will come back to down dog. We do have this other side to move through. Left foot high in the air. Step and place left foot through to between the hands. When you're ready, inhale, crescent lunge. Hips are sinking down, right heel's pressing back. Adding the arms. Breathe as you sink into crescent lunge. Shoulders melt down away from the ears. So once again, remember this transition. It's the opposite direction of Warrior 2. It's going to be a quarter turn to the left. I'm going to try to look behind me, down the left fingertips. Pause here for a moment, maybe sink it down. Press the right heel back. Then make the transition slow for Warrior 2. Right heel does pivot down. Sink into it. Virabhadrasana 2. Now it's this left knee tracking straight. Shoulders are down and away, not leaning forward, but being stacked over the hips. Just breathe and sink into it. We'll hold for 3, 2. Reverse warrior on 1. Reach up and back. Again, the option this week is this half bind, half wrap. You can see my right hand reaching up here towards this left hip. So maybe you're maintaining that for the next 2 or 3 poses. We will eventually come back to reverse warrior. But when you're ready, straighten out the legs. Step the back right foot up a little bit. Look over the right shoulder. See if you can press the hips back. Triangle pose. Left palm, shin, foot, floor, or block. Gazing again up and beyond the right shoulder, right collarbone, presenting up to the ceiling. You might feel your right shoulder blade pulling back and down for triangle pose. And then a smooth transition to half moon. Again, if you want to grab that yoga block, whoop, the left hand reaches in front of left foot, right foot rises. Take the transition slow. Again, go to where you can. Staring maybe at the floor, maybe up the fingertips someday. Let's see if we can go back to reverse warrior. Bend the left knee. Right foot touches down. Left arm continues to reach up and back as you sink into that left knee. We'll hold for 3. Maintaining that wrap. 2. Let's release this. On 1, right palm touches down. Step or slide. Right foot through. Warrior. Why am I in this? Warrior's bridge. I want to call it reverse warrior. No, we've came out of that. Right palm comes down behind you, and then we bridge the hips up. If you don't have a wall there and you want to do some of those big circles of the arm, feel free. Make sure it feels okay on the right shoulder. But again, these big whooping circles are always a fun little option for Warrior's Bridge. Slowly bridge the hips back down. We're going to fold over this right thigh. So square your upper body over this right leg. Flex the toes back. Inhale, lengthen. And then exhale, forward, fold. Try to melt over this right thigh and breathe. Left knee is pressing away. Maybe even coming to the blade edge of this left foot slightly, perhaps. Final breath. All right, we're going to set up the lizard to pigeon. So right palm touches down. We got a kick through. Now it's a kick back. So press and kick it back. Palms plant down. Start to move the hips. We're trying with this little prep is to prepare the left hip for pigeon. So left knee can press away, but notice I'm trying to keep the blade edge of the left foot down so the left hip is moving towards external rotation this whole time. Swaying hips right to left is another option. And when it feels pretty open, we can scoot it over there. Left foot moves to the right side of the mat. You can put the right leg back there as well. And then go to wherever you can in your fold for pigeon pose. Make sure it feels okay on that left knee. Just breathe as you melt down. We'll spend about 5 breaths here just letting go in pigeon. And again, you can always be up on the forearms. Again, go to where you feel best. If you have any variations of pigeon, they are more than welcomed. We'll spend a few breaths here. All right, after another inhale or exhale, you feel like you're ready to get out of pigeon. We're going to try to carefully come out, hopefully. All right, shake out that left leg. Maybe it needs a nice little shake. And you can take a chaturanga. You can take a child's pose, or you can go back to down facing dog. Again, that is your option. So again, take whatever feels best for you. All right. Any movements here are welcomed. We will eventually come back. Here to our down facing dog. Trying to get an idea how we are on time. So we'll come back in here to our down facing dog. We'll take maybe 2 nice inhales and exhales in and out here through the nose. Breathe. All right, hopefully we've all made our way back into our down dog at this point in time. So when you're ready, we'll take a nice inhale and a nice exhale. Try to let it go on the exhale. And at the bottom of your breath, we're going to return to the glutes. You can do a jump through to get there if you would like. You can go to a squat. Whoop. Whatever you have to do to get to your glutes. We're going to end with a little bit of a twist. So we'll see if we can pull the right knee up into the chest. And then the left palm is going to rotate that right knee down towards the floor. If you like to bring the right palm to the back of the head. And then rotate your right elbow down towards the floor as well. We're just going to stay here and breathe. Try to keep this knee down as best you can while rotating the upper body. We'll take 3 long inhales and exhales here. When you're ready to release, come out slowly. Extend the right leg long, left knee pulls in, roll on the right side body, right hand holds the knee down in place. Left palm behind the back of the head, exhale and twist the upper body to the left. Right hand holds the knee down, left elbow rotates and twists. All right. When you're ready to release, we'll release. Maybe ending with 1 round of windshield wipers to the left and to the right. Thank you, everybody, so much for joining me here this morning, or whenever it is that you chose to take practice. Thank you so much for staying with the Patreon. Any questions or comments, please feel free to reach out. Any questions or comments on practicing in studio, please feel free to reach out. Please take 3 to 5 minutes in your final Shavasana and in your final rest. And until next time, I will say peace, namaste. Have a great rest of your day. Peace, 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 namaste. Great job, everybody.